am so excited because my new school curriculum for 2020 and 2021 has just arrived from Alpha Omega Publications. I'm going to open these up and show you what I have bought. Okay. All right, receipt, bubble wrap. I have science for my second grader. Language for my second grader. And looks like math for my second grader. Actually, that is not math for a second. This is math for fourth grade math. Let's open up this next box. Getting new curriculum is like getting candy for me. I love ordering their new curriculum and seeing what they're going to learn the next year. They're all upside down, so it's like a mystery thing here. All right. Ugh. History and geography for my second grader. Fifth grade history and geography. Fifth grade science. History for my big eighth grader. And science for my eighth grader. Woo. Very excited. I'm going to take you to our homeschool room to show you even more in depth about why I chose this curriculum and what's inside this box. Okay guys, so we're going to start out with this language arts for my second grader. This will be her official first language arts program. Last year she did a bunch of phonics, and she can read now, so she'll be able to read some of this on her own. Of course, I will have to help her because she is a younger grade, so that should be expected in any curriculum. Now it comes out of the box in this nicely wrapped little package. I love that. It's just not flopping everywhere. I'm going to take it out. All right, so there are 10 units, as you can see, and it comes with a teacher manual, which honestly, I don't really use these all the time, especially in the younger grades, because I'm pretty good at language and other subjects, but I will show you this as well. So let's dive into this book. I'm going to show you some of the units and the teacher manual. Inside this book, you're going to see what sections they're going to do and what's in each section. So you have 3 sections, which is typical for most of these units. And then you're going to see she's going to do phonics, spelling words, some more phonics, English, reading, self-test, and you see the rest of it. I like how it's laid out, small chunks, it's not overwhelming, and after the students complete a unit, they feel so accomplished. Section 1, you're going to have study words, which is really, really nice. I also like Alpha Omega because they make it so easy. They have their spelling words, we have critical thinking skills, and writing all in one book. And I really do appreciate that because some other curriculums that I've used, you had to have like 3 separate books. And for me, that's a lot. It overwhelms me so much. So I really do appreciate that they have put everything you need in one book. So halfway through, it gives you a LIFEPAC test, which you actually give at the end of each unit, if you choose to test your children. I don't always do that. They're young. My 8th grader, she will be getting regular tests this year to get her ready for high school, but the younger ones, not so much. I will test them every so often just to make sure they know the information. And you also have self-tests, which is really nice. I love the self-test because you really do know, hey, they're getting this. So that's unit 1. Okay, this is unit 5. So we have more spelling words. Now they get to draw some, which is great for second graders. They need to have a little more fun. And I love these word shapes, spelling words, because they have to match up a long letter, short letters, long letters, whatever. It's really fun for them. And this, yes, spelling word rule breakers, okay. So at the end of each lesson, there will be a teacher study or a teacher check, which is really nice. Here, talking about contractions, goes all the way through this page and this page, and ends right here. So that would actually be one lesson. I typically have my girls do 2 lessons, and if they really know something, they might not even do the whole lesson. Like, she might just do 2 of these, and they're like, okay, you really do have this, so we can just move on. They don't have to do every single thing in a book. Because you're homeschooling, you have the power and privilege of saying, oh, you got this, skip this whole section because you don't need it, we're done. Okay, so here's the teacher guide. It's really great for especially new homeschoolers, so that you know what you're doing, and it really lays it out for you so you don't have to guess at what you need to teach. So here's your overview, your units, what they're going to be learning in each unit. And here's your scope and sequence. This is kindergarten, so you want to make it to 2nd grade. This is what they're learning in this grade. And I love this part. I refer back to this all the time when I do give test scoring and grading. Like, it's great to have this page so I know that I'm doing it correctly. This is good for new homeschoolers and old homeschoolers, actually. It gives you new study guide techniques and just helps you out. I mean, they have everything here for you to make you successful in teaching. Weekly lesson planner. I tend to just buy my own. This is great. You could just take this out. I think these are, yeah. Well, you could cut it out, it's not perforated, but you could just copy it. This is great as well because you can write their grades in here in one book. Book report forms, phonics rules, just in case you forget them yourself, which I have been guilty of. And extra reading. You can do extra reading with your children, which is fantastic. I do a lot of read out louds in the morning before we even get started. So we're finally to the day where this is what you do. It's showing you what you need to teach the child that day. Here are your answer keys so that you can grade your child if you wish to do so. I don't grade them, but I will go and exit and say, hey, this is wrong, you need to fix it. Self-test, unit reviews, it's all in order. Here's your spelling test. And this is an alternate life pack. If your child bombs the first one, you can give them an alternate. In the back of the book, there are teacher resources that can come in very handy. These are the spelling test, the spelling list. These are great, you can print these off, and these are great too. They are the Manipulatives for all the word families. I've used these in the past and they work exceptionally well. And what you do is you're going to cut these out and make cards, and then you cut on this line right here, and these will slip up into this area, so it could be like plan, strand, stan, I guess that's a guy's name, where's the SC, scan. So they're a lot of fun. It's good to have hands-on things. Kids like to play games. Alpha Mega is also Christian-based, which I love because it lines up with what we're trying to teach our children morally. So everything, like there's Bible things, Bible verses, and sometimes Bible stories woven into their history, their science, their language, everything. This is second grade history. So again, you have your teacher manual. I'm not really going to go too much in depth with this because we just did. Okay, so this is history, geography, second grade, unit 1. So you have your objectives. What are you going to learn? A review of last year. And these are tear out pages. So if your kid just wants a couple pages, maybe the book, even though it is small, maybe it overwhelms your child. Just tear the pages out, let them finish them each day, and boom, you're done. Now I'm excited about this year because all of mine are doing history and geography with LIFEPAC, and all of them are lining up. Of course, my 8th grader is going to learn more because of her grade level. But it's really cool because they're all learning about North America. Okay, see, there is a Christian-based history lesson right there after creation and the flood. Okay, and then I love how it gives, you have a story. So this is kind of like language as well as history, because you have a story and you're having to use your brain, use your mind, and what happened in the story. So that's great. They're really having to think about what they've read and retain that. And here's their self-test. And there you go. At 5, just thumb through this. You have governors. We talk about state executive branch, county governments, mayor, it's great. It just gives them a taste of what they're going to learn even more of when they get older. So there are tons of curriculum out there on the market. I have used different ones. However, I've come back to this curriculum. I actually started with Alpha Mega, and then I wanted to try something new. And it's good that I did. However, I've come back to this one. I started using it. I came back 2 years ago and used their Switched On Schoolhouse, and it was great. However, I like paper. My kids like paper because we can refer back easier and study the spelling words easier. So we went back to the LIFEPAC system just because we like paper, and it's simpler for us. Essentially, the Switched On Schoolhouse is basically the same thing as LIFEPAC, as well as Monarch. Monarch is the internet version of Switched On Schoolhouse, which is a flash drive version now. I have CDs. And no, I do have flash drives. It was CDs. It's a flash drive system, and here is the paper version. So they're kind of all the same curriculum, or very similar, I might say. But I do like this because of everything is encompassed in one book. I don't have to have 5 different books to teach one subject. That drives me crazy. So I like LIFEPAC. And that's why I became an affiliate, because I love them so much. And I'll put my affiliate link down below. And you can check out my blog as well. I'm going to have some write-ups about LIFEPAC on there, and the curriculum I'm choosing, why I've chose it, what our homeschooling schedule is going to look like this year going forward. I'm going to change it up a little bit and make it easier on me and my children, and not so chaotic. So if you're brand new to homeschooling, or even an older homeschooler, you're not going to have the same schedule that you had the year before, and you're not going to use the same curriculum every single time. I like to change things up, but when I see something that's working, I stick with it. Here is our 8th grade science, unit 1. So definition of science, advances in technology. Unit 3 is going to be science, technology of tomorrow. And you can see the 8th grade books have a little more in-depth study here. But I love that they have questions as well, and not too many questions to overwhelm your child, because a lot of questions is like, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. Medieval science here, match what you just read, is fantastic so that they don't get lost and forget. I also love the paper book because they can refer back so easily, whereas Switched On Schoolhouse is amazing. I do love the hands-off approach that I get to have. However, this is still hands-off because she can read this, answer the questions. If she doesn't know the answer, she can just flip back and go skim it and read it again, which is a good thing as well. That way she doubly gets it. Okay, so their lessons are a little bit longer, so we're going to start here and see how long. Oh, well, this lesson's really short. Here's your LIFEPAC test that they get after they're done with each unit. And here's a self-test. So her lessons are going to be a little bit longer because of her age. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. And these are student-led. However, I do assign that they do 1 or 2 lessons. And these LIFEPACs will take anywhere from 2 to 3 to 4 weeks, depending on how much they do. And you can calculate that out by using the teacher manual and doing some division. You can also buy the science kits that come along with each science. I don't usually buy those, however this year I did because I figured that we can all have a science unit time on Fridays, which is when I'm going to schedule science, and we can all do our science together in the kitchen. And buying the science kit was a little expensive, however I have said in the past I'm going to go buy all this stuff, you know, to do the science, and I never do it. So that way they can do their science experiments, and we should have everything in a box, or most of everything in the box, to enable us to actually perform those experiments. And it just helps the kids, your children, learn more when there's hands-on activities, and it makes science more fun. I try to make every subject fun, as fun as you can make it. Okay. Here is 5th grade science. And this one I have not opened yet, so it's still in its cellophane wrapper, all nice and tidy. I love just, I don't know, it's just like a little prize for me. I love opening new curriculum and seeing what's in it, even though I've like scoured the internet to check it out beforehand. Oh, so this is a picture of one of their science experiments kits. Ours have not arrived yet, so I might do an extra video on there, or I just might put it on the blog with some pictures. I'm very excited about getting our kit this year. 5th grade science, unit 2. That's what she's going to be learning about. Oh, that's crazy. Now, like in this one, my 5th grader, she knows a lot about this kind of thing with the growth. So this one I might not spend a whole lot of time on because I don't want her to get bored. So that's what's cool about homeschooling, is that you can control the speed at which they go. If they know a lot about something, don't waste their time. They would just get bored, maybe frustrated. Maybe they love it, but mine will get frustrated. I'm like, okay, just pass that whole unit. I mean, honestly, we could just skip the whole unit, and that's okay. That is unit 2. Let's look at unit 7. Let's see what she's learning in unit 7. Fossils. Okay. Oh my gosh, we actually have that. That's so cool. See, that's what's cool about homeschooling too, is you know what they're learning about. Let me go back to that page. Okay, let's use this one. You know what they're learning about, so then if you have something like that, you can bring it to life by saying, oh, here's ours, and they can feel it and really look at it and explore it. And that way of learning is amazing. It's hands-on. I love hands-on learning. It's more relatable when it's in front of them. Yeah, there it is. Okay, we do have that. So I will be bringing ours into this lesson when she gets here. Here's some 5th grade history and geography, unit 1. My camera's straight. Okay. Okay, so I love how all my children are going to be learning about the Revolution. Now, we've done Revolution and Independence before, but now like they're all going to be learning about it. And I'm kind of a hands-on mom. Like, this is hands-off, but yeah, I will stay in tune with what they're learning, and we might set up some little GI Joes or something, something to make the war. Here's unit 7, a little later in the year. And here's the teacher guide for the history, 5th grade, history and geography. So what my 5th grader will be learning is about the New World, a new nation, time for testing, a growing nation, nation divided, a changing nation, depression and war, the Cold War, America in the new millennium, and the United States of America. So they're going to cover a lot, which is fantastic. I like how the teacher guide is divided up by units. It's 5th grade, and it's the 4th unit right there. So you have your teacher notes. You have your section 1, self-test 1, section 2, you'll have a self-test 2, section 3, self-test 3, and then you have your LIFEPAC test and your alternate LIFEPAC test. It's so helpful to be able to find everything in just one chunk. So this is science for my 2nd grader, and it's our unit 9. So some things to think about when you're about to homeschool. You need to look at your state's laws, what is expected of you, how many hours to teach, what to teach. And Alpha Omega makes it easy because they have box systems, especially when you're new and you're starting out and you don't know what the heck you're doing. A box set comes with your language, your history, geography, your science, your math, and your Bible. Unit 10, this would be a review for the entire year. And like I said earlier, I don't typically get to these because I know if my children have retained what they've learned. So if you're not sure, this is a great review. History for my 8th grader, Unit 7. Again, I just love how simplistic they make this. There's only 3 sections, but there's so much information in here, so valuable. They've compacted it, but there's so much in here. So I actually, my children read 30 minutes a day, if not more, for school. But this can be considered part of their reading, because that's a lot of reading right there. And then to see the retention, they have to answer the questions. Now these pages aren't glossy like some other curriculums, they're just paper, but I am glad to see that there are color pictures just like you would get on a glossy book, that you can really see the detail. It's not just black and white, and to me that's kind of boring usually, so I like the colored photos. So if you're new to homeschooling, or if you've been homeschooling, some advice I can give you is it doesn't have to just be textbooks. Some people don't like textbooks. I typically do, because that's how I bounce off. I use the textbook and I bounce off from it. I collect books that we're talking about. I go and collect, let's say, the Civil War. So I'll go get a Civil War book from the library or order one on Amazon. And then also I will buy some of those little army men. Like, we set up an actual army and we can really get into that section of the unit and not just do textbook. So if you can incorporate something fun that will really resonate with your kids, I love doing that. I mean, we've done some history last year that we're finishing up right now, actually, that it was world history. And so with every country that we got involved with, learned about, we made a craft. So we did paper mache pyramids, because we learned about Egypt and Africa, and we did some, then we went to Easter Island, because that's in South America, learned that it was owned by Chile, and learned so much about that. So we did Easter Island heads, and you can see some of those pictures on my Instagram and on my blog. I talk more in depth about that, so I'll put a link to my blog below, so subscribe to that as well. It's free, why not? I got one more here I'm going to talk about. This is not LIFEPAC, but it is amazing math curriculum. I start all of my girls off with Horizon Math. It's very colorful. It's a spiral learning. There it is. It's beautiful. Two of my children are a little more on the creative mind, so it didn't really work with them. I saw that they were having a little hard, it's a little hard for them to grasp, and I didn't know that at the time, but it is a little advanced. So if your child is really good at math, shouldn't have a problem. And they do have placement tests that you can give your child as well. My other two, like I was saying, are very creative minds. This child right here is my middle child. She's very analytical, so this works for her. My others, I had to switch to another math curriculum that I can talk about in another video sometime. I love it. It's very hands-on, kinesthetic. You build. It's amazing. It works for them fantastic, and they are thriving. But let's get into this one. So this is Horizons Math Book 1. And these come in 2 books and one teacher guide. So I try and finish up book 1 by Christmas. Doesn't always happen, but that's what I go for. I do it kind of on a semester system with the books, because there's 2. So here's your book 1. I'll do an up close version in just 1 second. And book 2. So in her 3rd grade book, she has done multiplication, division. She's learned about ratios, fractions. So they're going to encompass probably the first 30 lessons, not of book 2. Of book 1 will be a review. Generally with curriculum, that is how it goes. The first 30 lessons are always review. So we may skip some of that. And again, in their books, if they have if they know how to do something, you don't have to make them do it. You're the teacher. You can tell them, okay, let's just skip that. You got it. So you don't frustrate your kids. I made that mistake when I first started teaching. I was like, you got to do the whole page. There's 20 questions. You got to do all. You don't have to do that. So she knows this already. So I'll just skip this, or I'll leave it up to her. I was like, if you want to do it, you can do it. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. She knows how to do it. So we'll just skip. Like, I might circle 3 things on this page and X this page completely out. So for you guys just starting out, you know, you don't have to make them do the whole page just because there's a whole page. Don't make your kids hate math or hate any subject. You don't want them to do that. Like this. Yeah. This is just addition, but it looks fun. Another one I might just leave up to her. Addition and subtraction. She knows how to do this. I might just circle one just as a review, you know, because it's been a while. It's been summer. So let me show you up close on these. Math Book 1, Grade 4. And like I said, it's just a review a little bit. And it's nice and colorful. I do like the pages. And checks. This cracks me up because I didn't learn how to write a check in high school, so I'm glad to know they're teaching them checks, which she learned a little bit at the end of her third grade book. And I actually printed it out, and all of my children did it, because you need to know how to write a check, even if they're going to be non-existent in, you know, what, 10 years possibly. But it's good to know that information. Okay, book 2. This is your book 2. It's just a continuation, and they'll just build upon it. And I love how they teach them these. Again, Christian based. And the lines, and this is geometry, so she's already learning this. That's nice. All right, so the teacher's guide for math is very similar. They have their sections. So I usually do flag the pages so it's easier for me to find. Because you have section 2, or section 1 is all the intro and everything they're gonna learn, things to help you. Section 2 is teacher's lessons. Again, with this lower grade math, I kind of got it, so I don't go into depth with teaching my child first. We're just like, okay, this is what you're learning today. And if she struggles at all, I will go and do a whole lesson. However, she seems to get it. I mean, she's got it. So I don't have to refer back to these lessons, which I'll show you in a bit. I just say, okay, here's the concept, here's how you do it, and she gets it. Section 3, answer keys and test keys. Section 4, worksheets, worksheet answer keys. Section 5, test and test keys. And yeah, here's your introduction. You can read all about this. Evaluate if your child is ready. Okay, and see, here's a readiness test that you can give your child and see, hey, are they really ready for this math? And that's great. All right, so if you really like having a schedule, this is great because it shows you how to prepare the lessons and organization, the test. This is great information for you. Activities and the worksheets and units. All right, so this is what they're going to be learning. Number theory, place value, number order, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, time, money, geometry, perimeter area, volume, fractions, decimals, ratios, measurements, graphs, and equations. Now, she actually learned a lot about this stuff last year, but I think they're going in more depth, so she'll really nail it down. And then it has a breakdown of what they're learning in each lesson. Like lesson 1 is addition terms, value and money, write the largest number, find fractional parts, 3-digit addition, 3-digit subtraction, ordinal numbers. Now that's all a review. Okay, so here are your lessons. So if you really need a play-by-play, you have your concepts, you have the objectives, what your student will be learning, tips for you as a teacher, what you're gonna need. You can do the games, beans, pennies, quarters, any of this stuff. You can play games and be more hands-on with your math if you want to. And then your activities, and that's one whole lesson. Then lesson 3, lesson 4, well, lesson 6, it just goes up and up and up. So it gives you exactly what you should do to teach your child. And then back here are the answer keys. This is where I usually hang out to check my kids' answers, make sure they're good. Extra worksheets if you feel like they need more. And I actually use these as time tests as well, but I think there are some time tests in this book. Again, you have the freedom to do what you want. Here's subtraction, more worksheets. And here are the answers to those worksheets that they have extras of. So everything's just laid out for you to make it as easy as possible. And I love that about Alpha Omega. They really do care about the teacher as well as the student, making it as easy as possible, less stress, and just focusing on making it fun, because they do have activities in all these teachers' guides to make it more hands-on. It's all in the way you want to teach, but the information is readily available. It's covered. They have it mapped out for you if you're new or if you love going play by play, step by step. They got it here for you. Hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, share. Give me a thumbs up, and remember to subscribe so you won't miss another video from this beautiful crazy life. Thanks so much, guys. See you next time.